Hello, my dear friends. Today is December 2nd, and we are talking about the special times. You know, we're in Christmas season now, full force in the United States. I know that Canada and Europe has been in the little Christmas season since maybe November 11th, some of you have said. But, you know, it's a special time, special things happening, and you want to make sure that your house is in shape for those special things. So make sure you're doing your morning routines, you're doing your laundry, you're getting your paper clutter out of the way, you're doing your 3 clutter stops a day, you're doing your before bed routines, you're doing your zone work, and you're doing your basic weekly plan. If you're not familiar with those things, please go watch How to Do the FlyLady System for Newbies. But we have special things in our lives all the time. Here's my special thing. This is our new puppy, Maggie May. She's 6 days old in this picture. She was born on Thanksgiving, and we get to bring her home in January. And she is a little beauty. We actually went to see her and picked her out. Now, it was easy to pick her out because Maggie May was the only female in a litter of 7, and we're so happy. Her face should be brown with a white blaze when she's older, and she got the black saddle on her back and the white feet and the white tip on her tail, and we're just really thrilled. So that's Maggie May, and I wanted to introduce you, and we'll be showing her more when we get her and she starts, I can hold her up here for you to see her as she's a big girl. But right now, Maggie May is back with her mommy. So I thought I would share that with you because that's special. And so, when a puppy comes into your life, I don't know if you're planning, we don't want to get her at Christmas because we're going to be traveling, so we're getting her after Christmas. But I know many of you get pets around this time of year. So you want to make sure that your pet isn't going to eat things that they shouldn't be eating off the floor. So we want to make sure that those no little things. We want to make sure that when you are getting a pet, that you're making a commitment to this pet for its life. This dog will live 10 to 15 years, hopefully 15. And you have to take care of them. You've got to take care of their food needs, their vet needs, their physical needs, their exercise, their love, the attention you need to give them. So if you've got little tiny children, maybe you need to think about it because it's like having another baby. Now, I don't like it when people say that to me. Do you know what you're getting yourself into? I know exactly what I'm getting myself into, and I'm thrilled. And I'm not saying that you don't know what you're doing. I don't mean that at all. But I want you to think about it if you haven't thought about it. If you've got a new baby and a toddler, probably not a great time to bring in a dog. You want to wait till your kids are older and won't harm the dog, and the dog isn't too big and knocks them over in its playful state and things like that. So just think about that because your life is already hard. You're trying to keep your house clean. You're trying to raise your children. You're trying to discipline yourself and discipline your children. And, do the things you can to run a smooth home. I absolutely believe there is a place for pets in your life. And I just think that it's important that you realize that when you do get a pet, like when I get a pet, Maggie's going to have to be brushed a couple times a day if I want to keep her hair down. I need to vacuum the house every day to keep the hair down. These are some standards that I want to meet. When you're going to bed at night, you can't just do your dishes and brush your teeth and lock the doors and pull the curtains down and go to bed. If you have a dog or a cat or whatever, it's mainly a dog, you need to take her out to go potty one last time. You need to make sure she's secure for the evening, etc. So just know that if it's already hard for you to do the things you need to do, like clutter stops 3 times a day, a puppy is going to increase that. And again, that's not a bad thing. It's just a thing, and you have to be ready for it. Okay, so that's one special thing. Another special thing at the holidays is people coming to stay with you, or you going to stay with people. So we need to think that out. How can that be as smooth as possible? When you go to someone's house, you want to be a nice guest. You don't want to leave towels on the floor. You don't want to leave the bed unmade during the day. You don't want to not help with the dishes or the cooking or the prepping or the cleanup. These are things that is a common courtesy to do. If your host doesn't want you to do those things, then at least keep them company while they're doing it and do your little bit. But do keep your space clean and keep your children under control. I know so many times I hear people say that, they had relatives come with little children and the children tore their children's rooms up. I know that was common when my kids were little, and it's because they're excited. Your own kids are doing just as much damage as the relatives' children. But how do you as a parent make sure that you are helping control that if you're a visitor? You say, let's go pick up the toys before we go to bed because I know y'all were playing in there, and then you'll be shocked when you walk in because they've made tents and forts and pulled down every game, and games are mixed together. If the parent who has that child's room didn't make sure that things were put away, you may have a big mess to clean up together. But you don't want to leave and have your host upset that you came. So do those things with a cheerful heart. You don't have to be rude or mean or sharp with your children. You just have to say, no, we don't do this at our house, and we certainly don't do this at Aunt Frances's house. Let's go clean up. And you invite the nephew and the niece or whoever else is, if it's their room, let's clean up your room and make it look nice so that tomorrow you can play in it again. So you want to do that. Also, if you are the host and you have this happening at your house and no one is helping you, because sometimes people are reticent, they just feel like maybe you don't want them to do that, or maybe they just don't see it, or they don't keep a tidy house and maybe you don't even know it. So let's say that they're not helping you clean up. I would go ahead and say, oh, I've got to clean up the dishes. Do you want to keep me company and have a cup of coffee in the kitchen while I do this? And you just go about your day just like you would have if they weren't there. You're just doing a few more dishes and you can do it. Another thing to do is if the children have made a wreck of the living room or the children's rooms, the same thing that I told the visiting person to do, you would do. You would not be mean or unkind. You would be firm but kind. No, we don't leave our living room like this. Everybody, we're going to clean up. So let's pick up these pillow cushions and put them back on the couch. Let's put the throw back on the couch. And maybe you don't say everything you're doing, but you could say, put your shoes in your bedroom. Go take yours to your mommy's room. You're just telling them what to do. You're not being mean or bossy. You're getting your house straight. Then you go into the children's room and you say, okay, let's tidy this up before you go to bed. And if you, as the host, have been, haven't thought it through and you left like board games in that child's room and now they're all mixed together, I would just close them up, put whatever I can in them. I would not be separating things into Monopoly and Candy Sugar, what is it called? Candyland. I would just put them all together in the boxes, take the boxes and go put them up somewhere because they're not playing with them. They're just shoving them around. And then straighten that room up as best you can. Don't be separating all the Legos from the doll clothes, from the costumes. Just kind of in general, get it put away. Okay? So I know that this is really addressing parents, hosts, guests, and it might not affect you at all, but I want you to think about when you are a guest, even without children, how do you act with your host? And when you are a host, how do you act with your guest? That's it for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you always remember that you are beautiful. So be beautiful.